I am so fascinated to see the ice skaters. When they dance on the ice, as some of you have seen during the Olympics, I'm just in awe. I'm in awe. Then sometimes, right at the end when they're done, I pay attention to them when they get off the ice. And then I see how they're breathing. So they may have started totally centered, focused. And afterwards, it's like, wow, how much energy, talent, uh, drive they put into it. They breathe really deeply through to recover. Now, I think that's a little bit the same with musicians. Like after our service, Adam will think like, ah, wonderful. And no matter which challenge we're facing, whether a teacher in class, and I admire all those who teach, at the end of the class, there is kind of a freeing and a breathing through. I think of those who are in healthcare after your shift of 8 hours caring for other people in the hospital, in the doctor's office, in home health, no matter where. Breathing through. And I think it's the same applies for a mother or a father who cares for an infant after 10 or 12 hours. Oh, my dear, give me a break. I need to breathe through. This is where the scripture comes in. When it talks about God creating everything, after laboring hard, after creating everything around, the beautiful, the fast, the slow, the magnificent, everything. It says God rested. And God, it's almost like I get this image, God stepped back and looked at creation. And it took time to step back and take in all the beauty and the marvel thing. So it's kind of, we have those times when we rush, hurry, hurry, do, get things done. And then there's a time to relax and step back and just be in the presence of the living God. And God sanctified that day. God called it holy. God placed it there. And it's good to have a reminder for that, for us to just be, to reconnect, to unplug, to recharge, to refresh, to just connect with the living God. And we do that in very different ways. It may be just walking by the river, maybe playing a game, it may be just hugging a plush animal, it may be many of those things that just refresh your soul. The same way for Jesus, and that was our second scripture. After the busyness of ministry, after caring for all the sick people, after getting everything done, and sometimes I feel like Jesus was in high demand, like everyone trying to get a piece of him, pulling. It's like having 10 children pulling all around you, all these demands, just being overwhelmed sometimes by all the demands. And then what the scriptures tell us, Jesus steps back. He gets into the boat to a lonely place to recover, to restore, to connect with the living God. Now, if Jesus needed that, who are we not to? Now, this scripture and this message until now applies to those who feel like I'm working, I'm treading water, I'm in a hamster wheel, I just have too much going on. So that's this passage, these parts. And there are other parts of the scriptures for those who have a hard time getting off their couch and getting into gear. Those are the kind of, So, you remember the story of this Native American who was taking a ride. And he got in the car, and after a while, they were zipping along the country road. He said, "Stop, stop, stop, stop," to the driver. He got out, opened the door, was looking. "What are you doing?" asked the driver. "Well, I'm waiting for my spirit to catch up. I'm waiting for my soul to catch up." It's kind of, if we're zipping by, something is not following up that quickly. That is our soul. That's sometimes how I feel and how some of us, those with whom I talk, feel. So where and how do you take that time for God? And when I say time for God, I experience connecting with God in and through my soul, what is called soul. Now, is soul that inner organ that I can pinpoint to? It's not like that. But there is a soul, there is a wholeness, there is a core, there is a center of us. And that center recharges, reconnects, refreshes when we're plugged into God, when we're at peace, when we relax, when we open up and breathe deeply through. What makes in you space and room to refresh and to make to get back to that peace, to that center? It's about overall balance, isn't it? In the old spiritual traditions of the monasteries, of the monks and of the nuns, they lived by a motto, ora and labora. It's kind of prayer and work. So they do their hard work, like the Benedictines, and then there's time for prayer, a break in prayer. And then they pray, and then they go to work, and then they pray, and they go to work. It's becoming a rhythm, and it becomes an interweaving and intertwining to a point where even work becomes like prayer. And it's getting all connected with one another. So Sunday, in the traditional sense, is that Sabbath, is that to refresh our souls. Now, for many of us who have different roles, Sunday is not always Sunday, but Sunday can be a different day, a Sabbath, taking a rest, a breathing through, taking a nap, or whatever our souls, our bodies, our minds need to for restoration. What refreshes your soul? What renews your spirit? What recharges your batteries? What is it? And do you make room, time, and space for that? Where and how do you recharge?